Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Socially Inclined, where we believe marketing should be simple, effective, and most importantly, affordable. In this episode, we'll be sharing expert tips and strategies to help you increase your visibility, engage more of your audience, and reach more clients than ever before. So if you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, keep listening because you're about to get socially inclined. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jess from Socially Inclined, and today I'm going to talk about something that is going to be super valuable for you if you have ever posted a piece of content that you feel like should have just blown it out of the water, gotten lots of likes, engagements, shares, etc., and it fell flat. Because the reality is the digital world is pretty saturated, right? Everyone is trying to make content. Everyone's trying to stand out. Everyone's trying to get that engagement. And it can really be a challenge these days. So what we have done is we have come up with 5 strategies, 5 little tasks or steps, if you will, that we have found really works to help stoke the algorithm for you, so that when you do make that post, it goes further. And this is all about making the algorithm do more for you. So every social media platform has an algorithm associated with it. And if you're not familiar with it, what an algorithm is, that is how these platforms determine what shows up on your home feed. And they can all be a little different, but in general, every algorithm responds positively to engagement, to likes, to comments, to shares, all to a different degree, right? A like, it has a certain weight for the algorithm. A share is obviously seen as more valuable. And when this kind of engagement happens, whether it's your content or a competitor's piece of content, or maybe it's just a friend's personal profile, when you engage with that content, it signals the algorithm to show it to more people like you. So the whole idea of algorithms is very sophisticated stuff. There is a lot of computer science and engineering that has gone into these over the last decade or so. So this podcast isn't really about learning everything there is to know about the algorithm, but what I'm going to teach you in these 5 steps is going to help you make these algorithms work harder for you so that you have more engagement, so that you can get a little more visible, and so that your posts don't fall so flat. Because I know firsthand experience, even in some of my first businesses, and even here now at Socially Inclined, sometimes we get a little disappointed in our reach and our engagement. So these 5 things are definitely, they help us. They are tried and true. So listen up. There are 5 steps, and I just want to say that you don't have to do all 5 of them every time for every post. If you only have time to do one of these things for each post, it will help a little. If you can do a couple of these steps, it will help a little more. And if you can do all 5 of them, yes, it will be more time consuming on your end, but it will help you get more engagement and give you the biggest result. So, first of all, when you're getting ready to post a piece of content, you want to, step 1, share something to your stories 30 minutes before posting. All right, so step 1, you've got that piece of content coming out. Let's say you're a fashion influencer. Maybe, LuLaRoe is not really big anymore, but there are several other direct sales fashion companies. And of course, we have no shortage of boutiques and Etsy sellers and things like that who do really pretty t-shirts and fun things on Etsy that are in our socially inclined community. So let's say you're a fashion influencer, whether that's a boutique, maybe you're in direct sales, or maybe you have an Etsy store. In your stories, 30 minutes before you make this post, tease that upcoming post, and maybe you share a sneak peek of the outfit, or maybe a behind the scenes video of how you made this really cool Boss Mom t-shirt that you're selling on Etsy. And what that does, yes, it signals the algorithm. It also creates anticipation, and it makes followers really excited to see the full post. The other thing about stories, which is so underrated, is that every time you post a story, you swing to the top left corner of everyone's app when they open it. So go do this right now while you're listening. If you're not driving. If you're driving, do not do this. But go to your Facebook app or your Instagram and open it, and you'll see the stories at the top. And they're prioritized. Again, they're decided on by the algorithm, but they're prioritized by recent posts, that recent additions to people's stories that they think you will be most interested in. So that right there is a great reason. So 30 minutes before you post, make sure that you share some kind of teaser in your stories. If you're a food blogger, that might be a picture of that delicious dish that you're about to feature, and that really helps your audience get excited for this new recipe. Or maybe you're doing a live on how to prepare this dish. So step 1, share to your stories 30 minutes before you post. It'll get people excited about what's to come. Step 2, share your post in your stories once you've posted it. So this is a step that we missed out on for the longest time. And if you think about it from the consumer standpoint, if you give them a teaser, but then you never show them the final product, then it kind of feels like, oh, well, maybe she never did it. Or maybe she never actually went live with that outfit. Or maybe she never actually went and showed us how to make that recipe. But if you share that post in your stories, then it kind of helps close the loop and builds authority and reliability for you and your brand on social media. So for example, if you're a fitness coach, you would share your new workout routine or your nutrition tips in your stories, and you can provide a direct link to your followers so that they can access that full post and dive deeper into that content. And that is something that it was not originally available with stories, but man, it is such a great feature now that when you share that post or when you share that reel or that live video, they see the thumbnail there and they can click and go directly to that live video. So it really helps bring traffic off of your stories and into your value add content. If you're a travel blogger, you'd want to showcase something really breathtaking from maybe your latest adventure or a client's latest adventure, and then that would entice your audience to click through and maybe discover more about who you are, places you've explored, and more about your service and how you can help them do the same. So step 2, share that post to your stories. And that is no matter what type of content you posted, whether it's a video, whether it is a still post or an update or a coupon, just make sure that you close that loop by sharing that post to your stories. All right, step 3, interact with the comments on your previous post. Now, I did mention when I started this conversation that all of these take time. And as small business owners, oh my gosh, time is not something that we just have a lot of. All of our time is usually taken up. But if you can take just a few minutes to interact with comments on your previous post, and this, by the way, can be done before or after you make this post, that will help signal the algorithm. If anyone's commented on the post, they'll get a notification. Maybe they go back and comment on it too. But it basically signals the algorithm of that platform that that piece of content is not dead. All right. Content life, it's It's kind of all over the place. But what you might not realize if you are new to social media marketing is that the life of a post can be very disappointingly short. And if you've spent 2 hours on a piece of content and you learn that the life of a Facebook post may be only 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how much engagement it gets, it can be really frustrating. However, comments, engagement, shares, interactions help revive that post, essentially bringing it back to life. So you can initiate this. You can help that process along. You can tell that algorithm, wait, this post is not dead, by interacting with your comment or interacting with comments on a previous post. And we have seen this firsthand time and time again by getting in our group. Maybe we had a post that fell flat. Maybe it only reached a couple hundred people and we have thousands of people in our group. If we go back and leave some smart comments on it, almost always it will get more engagement, more people will start commenting on it, and it really gets further than it would have if we didn't go and do this third step. So let's take a few examples for this third step. If you're a tech company, you'd reply to comments on a previous post that maybe highlighted a new product release. And that's, again, would spark conversations. And if it already had some inquiries, it would help address those inquiries from potential customers. And there's nothing more important if you have a person who's on the fence about buying your stuff. There's nothing more important than them hearing from you directly. We get that all the time at Socially Inclined, where I guess people think we're just like a foreign company who just sells millions and millions of these, and we don't do, our own support, but we do all of our support. So when someone starts hearing from Julie or myself directly, almost every time it will turn into a long-time client. So very important stuff there to make sure that you address any and all inquiries, questions, complaints. Those are just part of being a business owner. So if you're a parenting blogger, you want to engage with those comments on that previous post where maybe you shared tips for managing toddler tantrums. I'm going through that right now with my 3-year-old. But doing that creates this supportive and interactive community of fellow parents. And I said interactive community with a little bit of emphasis there, because that is the coup de grace, the capstone, the most important thing that people come to social media for, is for it to feel like a two-way street. They don't come to be broadcasted to about your incredible offers and products and services. They come to learn, engage, relax, laugh, and you've got to give that to them in the form of interaction, community, and support. All right, so number 3 was interact with comments on your previous post. Number 4, this one, when we discovered this one, it's a game changer. In this one, you might have been overlooking for the sole reason that you forget to change your profile to your page and interact with that home feed. So, step 4, engage with accounts from your home feed. This one is so crucial because Facebook, Instagram, those are the big 2, right? All of the algorithms kind of work the same though, so this can be applied to other ones as well. But Facebook and Instagram have gone through great lengths to make sure that they're not advertising platforms without paying for advertising, right? If you just get on your Facebook page and you post and then you run off, that's what I mean by advertising, like just using it as an advertising platform. They want to see that this is a two-way street. So you want to make sure that you make it a two-way street. The reason this step gets overlooked is because we now have multiple feeds. All right, 2008, 2009, you had one feed, you had your page, and you were all the same person. Now you have multiple feeds. You have a feed for your page, you have a feed for your other page if you have multiple businesses, multiple brands like we do here at Socially Inclined, and you have your personal feed. So we were making this mistake for the longest time because I scroll my news feed. I try not to do it more than 15 minutes at a time, just a time or two a day. But you've got to switch into your pages feed in order for this strategy to work. So before you post that post, or after you post that post even, make sure that you're spending some time on your page's home feed. Now on Instagram, you are that entity on Instagram, so you just need to use your home feed there as well. But the big thing, Facebook, switch to your page's profile, and then go to your home feed and start interacting as your page. Engage with other accounts. So if you're a marketing agency, like we are here at Socially Inclined, you'd engage with posts from industry thought leaders. You'd leave insightful comments and share, valuable resources where you could. Obviously, we ain't dropping freebie links because nobody likes that on their page. But I could go over to like a leader in Bellamy. I could go to her page and talk about how much I love the fact that she's very value-led, and she's not just posting about sale after sale after sale. She's actually helping women discover their confidence, helping women find their best selves and things like that. You nurture relationships so that you can position, again, this is a marketing agency example, you would position your marketing agency as an active participant in relevant conversations on social media. Active participant, super important and often overlooked, whether it's because you don't want to or you don't have the time, maybe you don't like social media. It's just so important that you get on there and become an active participant as your page, and that will help your content go further when you post, because it signals to the algorithm that you're here to contribute back and forth both ways, not just to post and ghost. Another example, let's say you're a pet supply store. You'd like and comment on posts from local pet owners. So this is such a fun strategy. I'm getting these examples from our clients, by the way. So this is a really fun strategy. You could go to a popular pet group. Let's say that you are in Tampa, Florida, and you have a pet supply store. You would go to Tampa Bay Barks and start commenting on all of the adorable pups, and that will help. Not only people would see, oh, Jess's pet supply store in Tampa, Florida, commenting, so that's building recognition, that's free advertising right there, but it's also fostering a sense of community and building know, like, and trust with potential customers in your area. So if you're a brick and mortar store, that's a great example to take, whether it's a pet store or a flower shop. If it's a flower shop, then, you would want to go to, I'm thinking like a wedding venue and interact with that, because the people who are going to buy a lot of flowers from you would be watching wedding venue groups or Tampa Bay weddings or things like that. So get a little creative and really start going out there and engaging as your page with accounts, and watch how much of a difference that makes in the engagement on the posts that you put out. All right, so fourth step, engage with accounts on your home feed. Fifth and final step, and this is kind of where you bring it full circle. This is where you're going to help drive sales and really let people know what to do next when they land on your page, which is always a crucial step. It's one of the first things we talk about when we start talking about like profile optimization and things like that. Your profile should always, within 5 to 10 seconds, someone who's new that comes to your profile should know exactly where to go to sign up for your email list, or to get your freebie, or to become part of your quote unquote inner circle so that you can pull them off of social media, get their email address, etc. So in the spirit of that, step 5 is to pin comments that highlight you positively, or it answers a pertinent question. So maybe like the burning question. And if you go to the Socially Inclined Facebook page, facebook.com/sociallyinc, you will see that one of our pinned posts is always going to answer the question, what should I post this month or this week? Which is a question we always get. I don't know what to post. I don't know how to be consistent. And I don't know how to get more engagement. Those are our big 3s here at Socially Inclined. But also within a post, you can pin comments that maybe you spend a little extra time creating that, a response to someone who had a question. Pinning that can really help highlight you positively so that someone can find an answer really fast. So we have a lot of beauty influencers here at Socially Inclined, so let's take that as an example for this one. You would pin a comment that praises maybe a particular look that you did or highlighted, or maybe that comment asks for product recommendations, and then you gave a response to it. Pin that comment because it will encourage more followers to engage, and more people might seek further guidance from you. Maybe they'll ask another question. Oh, well, what about a product for this? Because they saw this pinned comment, you made it easy for them to find. So now they're asking you for more recommendations, which is ultimately going to lead to more sales. If you're a business coach, it's going to be something very similar. You would pin a comment where someone shares a success story or asks for advice or gives you a great piece of feedback. You provide value to others and encourage deeper interactions this way. So you've got to be doing things like this just to help make it easier for someone to find your little golden nuggets. So those are the 5 steps, just as a quick recap in case you're driving, maybe you didn't write it down and you've already forgotten the first one. Step 1, share to your stories 30 minutes before posting. Create a little teaser, even if it's just a selfie that says, hey, something amazing is coming out in 30 minutes, keep watching. Step 2, share that post in your stories when it does come out so that those who were anticipating it get to see it without having to go looking for it. Step 3, interact with comments on a previous post before and or after the current post comes out. Step 4, engage with accounts on your home feed for your page. And if you have multiple pages, then the answer to your question is you should be engaging with accounts as the page that you want to get more engagement for. All right. Step 5, pin comments that highlight you positively or that answer pertinent questions that any ideal client would have. All these 5 things help make it easier for someone who's interested in what you're doing to find pertinent information for them so they don't have to go digging. Because there's this real popular, notion. I'm sure there's like a well thought out, refined saying, but there's this real popular belief in marketing that the less calories an ideal client has to spend to understand what you sell, what to do, how to get involved, the more likely they are to buy. So make it easy on them. All right, so tailor these steps to your specific industry. I did give a variety of different examples, but doing this will create a dynamic online experience, on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. This even goes for Pinterest. It does have a little different strategy with pins and repinnings, but still the two-way street of engaging back lives true for Pinterest, for LinkedIn as well. Social media is all about building relationships and sharing value. So make sure that you're doing it and watch your online presence thrive. So that's all I have for you today. 5 essential steps for getting more engagement on your very next post. I would love to know which of these strategies seem to work the best for you. And I would love to get your feedback, comments, questions. If you have a specific topic you would like for me to cover in a future podcast, please just let me know. You can send me an email, podcast@sociallyinclined.com. And again, I'm Jess from Socially Inclined. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the Get Socially Inclined podcast on your favorite podcast streaming platform. I'll see you next time.